Welcome to Every Country Explained. Today, Brazil. Brazil, officially the Federative Republic of Brazil, is the largest country in South America. It is also the world's fifth largest country by area and the seventh largest by population, with over 213 million people. Brazil is a federation composed of 26 states and a federal district, which hosts the capital. The earliest pottery ever found in the Western Hemisphere was excavated in the Amazon basin of Brazil, and radiocarbon dated to over 8,000 years ago, 1600 BC. The pottery was found near Santarém and provides evidence that the region supported a complex prehistoric culture. The Marajora culture flourished on Marajo in the Amazon Delta from AD 400 to 1400, developing sophisticated pottery, social stratification, large populations, mound building, and complex social formations such as chiefdoms. Around the time of the Portuguese arrival, the territory of present-day Brazil had an estimated indigenous population of 7 million people, mostly semi-nomadic, who subsisted on hunting, fishing, gathering, and migrant agriculture. The population comprised several large indigenous ethnic groups, e.g., the Tupis, Guaranis, and Gués. The Tupi people were subdivided into the Tupiniquins and Tupinambas. Before the arrival of the Europeans, the boundaries between these groups and their subgroups were marked by wars that arose from differences in culture, language, and moral beliefs. These wars also involved large-scale military actions on land and water, with cannibalistic rituals on prisoners of war. While heredity had some weight, leadership was a status more won over time than assigned in succession ceremonies and conventions. Slavery among the indigenous groups had a different meaning than it had for Europeans, since it originated from a diverse socio-economic organization, in which asymmetries were translated into kinship relations. Along the coast, the Portuguese encountered various indigenous communities, most of whom spoke languages of the Tupi-Guarani family. Though the first settlement, São Vicente, was founded in 1532, colonization effectively began in 1534, when King John III of Portugal divided the territory into the 15 private and autonomous captaincies. However, the decentralized and unorganized captaincy system proved unsuccessful, and in 1549 among other influences, the Portuguese introduced the Portuguese language, Roman Catholicism, and colonial architectural styles. Brazilian culture was also strongly influenced by African, indigenous, and non-Portuguese European cultures and traditions. Some aspects of Brazilian culture were influenced by the contributions of Italian, German, and other European as well as Japanese, Jewish, and Arab immigrants who arrived in large numbers in the south and southeast of Brazil during the 19th and 20th centuries. The indigenous Amerindians influenced Brazil's language and cuisine, and the Africans influenced language, cuisine, music, dance, and religion. Brazilian art has developed since the 16th century into different styles that range from Baroque, the dominant style in Brazil, until the early 19th century, to Romanticism, Modernism, Expressionism, Cubism, Surrealism, and Abstractionism. Brazilian cinema dates back to the birth of the medium in the late 19th century and has gained a new level of international acclaim since the 1960s. It has a history that goes back 500 years to the time when Pedro Álvares Cabral landed in Brazil in 1500. Portuguese colonial architecture was the first wave of architecture to go to Brazil. It is the basis for all Brazilian architecture of later centuries. In the 19th century, during the time of the Empire of Brazil, the country followed European trends and adopted neoclassical and Gothic revival architecture. Then, in the 20th century, especially in Brasília, Brazil experimented with modernist architecture. The colonial architecture of Brazil dates to the early 16th, 7%, including a large area along its eastern coast and much of the continent's interior. It borders Uruguay to the south, Argentina and Paraguay to the southwest, Bolivia and Peru to the west, Colombia to the northwest, and Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and France, French overseas region of French Guiana, to the north. It shares a border with every South American country except Ecuador and Chile. The Brazilian territory also encompasses a number of oceanic archipelagos, such as Fernando de Noronha, Rocas Atoll, St. Peter and St. Paul Archipelago, and the islands of Trindade and Martim Vaz. Its size, relief, climate, and natural resources make Brazil geographically diverse. Including its Atlantic islands, Brazil lies between latitudes 6 degrees north and 34 degrees south, and longitudes 28 degrees and 74 degrees west. Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world, and third largest in the Americas, with a total area of 8,515,767. 049 km2, 3,287,956 square miles, including 55,455 kilometers to 21,411 square miles of water. Brazil is the only country in the world that has the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn running through it. It spans 4 time zones, from UTC-5 comprising the state of Acre in the westernmost portion of Amazonas, to UTC-4 in the western states, to UTC-3 in the eastern states, the national time, and UTC-2 in the Atlantic Islands. According to the Köppen system, Brazil hosts 6 major climatic subtypes: desert, equatorial, tropical, semi-arid, oceanic and subtropical. The different climatic conditions produce environments ranging from equatorial rainforests in the north and semi-arid deserts in the northeast, to temperate coniferous forests in the south and tropical savannas in central Brazil. In Brazil, forest cover is around 59% of the total land area, equivalent to 496,619,600 hectares ha of forest in 2020, down from 588,898,000 hectares ha in 1990. In 2020, naturally regenerating forest covered 485,396,000 hectares ha and planted forest cover. This has created a national cuisine marked by the preservation of regional differences. Some of the most well-known Brazilian foods are the feijoada, considered the country's national dish, and churrasco, a kind of barbecue which is often served in rodizio style. Other regional foods include beiju, feijão tropeiro, vatapa, maquica, polenta, from Italian cuisine, and acarajé, from African cuisine. The national beverage is coffee. Cachaça is Brazil's native liquor. Cachaça is distilled from sugarcane and is the main ingredient in the national cocktail, caipirinha. A typical meal consists mostly of rice and beans with beef, salad, French fries, and a fried egg. Often, it is mixed with cassava flour, farofa. Fried potatoes, fried cassava, fried banana, fried meat, and fried cheese are very often eaten in lunch and served in most typical restaurants. Popular snacks are pastel, a fried pastry, coxinha, a variation of chicken croquette, pão de queijo, cheese bread in cassava flour/tapioca, pamonha, corn and milk paste, esfirra, a variation of Lebanese pastry, kibbeh, from Arabic cuisine, and empada, pastry, little salt pies filled with shrimps or heart of palm. Brazil has a variety of desserts such as brigadeiros, chocolate fudge balls, bolo de rolo, roll cake with goiabada, cocada, a coconut sweet, beijinhos, coconut truffles and clove, and romo e julieta, cheese with goiabada. Peanuts are used to make pacoca, rapadura, and pé de molke. Local common fruits such as acai, cupuaçu, mango, papaya, cocoa, cashew, guava, orange, lime, passion fruit, pineapple, and hog plum are turned into juices and used to make chocolates, ice pops and ice cream. Encarta. Archived from. It has the largest national economy in Latin America, the 10th largest economy in the world by nominal GDP, and the 8th largest by PPP. After rapid growth in preceding decades, Brazil entered a recession in 2014 amid a political corruption scandal and nationwide protests. In 2024, the economy began showing consistent significant growth. Brazil has a labor force of roughly 100 million, which is the world's 5th largest. Its foreign exchange reserves are the 10th highest in the world. The B3 in Sao Paulo is the largest stock exchange of Latin America by market capitalization. Roughly 1/5 of Brazilians live in poverty, about 3.8% of the total population lives at $3.00 a day, while about 23% live at $8. Brazil's economy suffers from endemic corruption and high income inequality. The Brazilian real is the national currency. Brazil's diversified economy includes agriculture, industry, and a wide range of services. The large service sector accounts for about 72.7% of total GDP, followed by the industrial sector, 27%, while the agriculture sector is by far the smallest, making up 6%. Brazil is one of the largest producers of various agricultural commodities, and also has a large cooperative sector that provides 50% of the food in the country. It has been the world's largest producer of coffee for the last 150 years and is the world's largest producer of sugarcane, soy, coffee, and oranges, is one of the top 5 producers of maize, cotton, lemon, tobacco, pineapple, banana, beans, coconut, watermelon and papaya, and is one of the top 10 world producers of cocoa, cashew, mango, rice, tomato, sorghum, tangerine, avocado, persimmon, and guava, among others. Regarding livestock, it is one of the 5 largest producers of chicken meat, beef, pork, and cow's milk in the world. In the mining sector, Brazil is among the largest producers of iron ore, copper, gold, bauxite, manganese, tin, niobium, and nickel. In terms of precious stones, Brazil is the world's largest producer of amethyst, topaz, agate, and one of the main producers of tourmaline, emerald, aquamarine, garnet, and opal. The country is a major exporter. Bounded by the Atlantic Ocean on the east, Brazil has a coastline of 7,491 kilometers, 4,655 miles, among the longest in the world. It contains most of the Amazon basin, including the world's largest river system and most extensive virgin tropical forest. It ranks first among 17 megadiverse countries, with its natural heritage being the subject of significant global interest, as environmental degradation, through processes such as deforestation, directly affect global issues such as climate change and biodiversity loss. The territory was subsequently claimed and settled by Portugal, which founded the country's first city, São Vicente, in 1532 and imported enslaved Africans to work on plantations. The country's first constitution in 1824 established a bicameral legislature and enshrined principles such as freedom of religion and the press. Slavery was gradually abolished until its final abolition in 1888. An armed revolution in banana, beans, coconut, watermelon, and papaya, and is one of the top 10 world producers of cocoa, cashew, mango, rice, tomato, sorghum, tangerine, avocado, persimmon, and guava, among others. Regarding livestock, it is one of the 5 largest producers of chicken meat, beef, pork, and cow's milk in the world. In the mining sector, Brazil is among the largest producers of iron ore, copper, gold, bauxite, manganese, tin, niobium, and nickel. In terms of precious stones, Brazil is the world's largest producer of amethyst, topaz, agate, and one of the main producers of tourmaline, emerald, aquamarine, garnet, and opal. The country is a major exporter of soy, iron ore, pulp, cellulose, maize, beef, chicken meat, soybean meal, sugar, coffee, tobacco, cotton, orange juice, footwear, airplanes, cars, vehicle parts, gold, ethanol, and semi-finished. Thanks for watching Brazil Explained. Subscribe to TrendLens for more country videos. Which country should we cover next? Let us know in the comments.